let's talk about the consumer equilibrium. Now, as far as the consumer equilibrium is concerned, the first that we will take is one commodity case. That is, when a consumer intends to buy only one commodity and the marginal utility that he is going to derive out of that commodity. So, this is how we are going to see it to make it more clear. Supposing he is buying these units 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and the marginal utility that he is getting is from the first unit he got 8, from the second unit he is getting 6. See, it is diminishing, it is decreasing. As I said, the law of marginal utility is as you consume more, the marginal utility keeps decreasing. The satisfaction level starts coming down. When the units consumed are 3, it reaches 5. When it is 4, it is 4. And when it is 5, it goes down to 3. As the number of units consumed are increasing, the marginal utility is decreasing. The money spent in rupees is 5. That is, I have bought everything for 5 rupees. So, what I will derive is that this is my point when the money spent is 5, the number of units are 3 and the marginal utility that I have derived is 5. So, this is the point which I must take, and after this point any rational consumer is not going to buy more, because if he buys further then the marginal utility will decrease to a hilt. So, here a rational consumer will reach to a stage and then start, or rather he will stop there. If I have to illustrate this graphically, what I will say is, supposing this is the point and this is my marginal utility, and if it is on this side I am getting maximum satisfaction, on this side I am getting less satisfaction. So, here I have to understand that during one commodity case, the thing is that I must reach to a unit when consumed or bought, I get the maximum satisfaction, and after that I am stopping, I am putting a halt to my consumption. Then one commodity case is what we have seen, but let us talk about the 2 or more commodity case, which is called as the law of equi-marginal utility. You see, the income that we have, the money that we have is never spent on one thing. Is it that supposing my income is 10,000 rupees, I am not going to buy it clothes for 10,000 rupees. I am going to use it on food, buying food, on clothes, on the fees of the children, on maybe the house rent and so on. So, the law of equi-marginal utility explains that the units which I am buying, or I am going to buy more than one commodity. It is never one commodity that I buy, it is in rare case. So, when many goods are bought of the income, that is, Lipsy tells us that the utility which I must derive out of every rupee that I spend on buying different commodities should be maximum. That is, the money I spend on buying food, the money I spend on buying clothes, on shoes, on fees, on whatever, I should be able to get the maximum utility, the maximum satisfaction. That is, every rupee spent should give me the maximum utility. That is the law of equi-marginal utility. For example, if I have to give, I will say that if I have gallons of water, I am not just going to drink those gallons of water, I'm going to use it for washing, for cleaning, for bathing, for drinking, for gardening. So there are going to be many uses of the gallons of water that I have. As for example, my income that I have, I'm spending it in different heads. So that's the law of equi-marginal utility. We have been talking about the approaches of consumer, that is consumer equilibrium, and there are two approaches, that is the utility approach and the indifference curve approach. You've already studied about the utility approach of consumer equilibrium, and now here we are to start with the consumer equilibrium approach of indifference curve. Now in this, the assumptions that we must know is, first of all is rationality. That is, a consumer should be intelligent enough to understand, to reason out, to know that what should he buy of his income to derive maximum utility. So the rationality of a consumer is very, very important as far as indifference curve approach is concerned. If you just buy or spend your money without reasoning, without rationalizing, then you are not a true consumer. Second is ordinality. That is to say, whatever units, commodities we buy, we give a number to it, we give a ranking to it, and this is according to the taste and preference of a consumer. It never is influenced by the price of the market. For example, the income that I have, I could be ranking, say, first to my clothes, second to my food, third to my house rent, fourth to my fee of the children, and so on. So the ranking which I have done could be on the basis of my taste and preferences. So the ordinality is done by the consumer.